Well, my bunch of shadow maniacs, yeah. Can you see what I can see? Yeah, we've got a problem. Houston, we've got a problem, and yes, if it was built properly, it wouldn't be a problem, or it would have been a lot better. You see, wood moves, wood is great, but it is a breathing, living thing. Even when it's cut down and chopped, it likes to move. It can be influenced, and you know, gravity and weight is a cruel mistress. Yeah. And I know you're thinking, Reggie, what the hell are you on about? Stop smoking that stuff. Anyway, look, let me show you. Look, fits under there, look. You don't fit under here. This bottom one, now we've added, do you know, it's surprising how much the weight adds up. You know, one box isn't much, but another and another and another, it soon adds up. Yeah. And it seemed to be all right till we put this in here. We should have put maybe a thicker one if we had it, or doubled up this one. We should have took into account this was going to take the weight. But you know, you make it as you get there, don't you? It's got to be fixed, because it'll just pull everything. It'll destroy everything. It'll just pull this in. It'll make this. It'll start pulling itself apart. Oh yeah, over time. I mean, I can see this now. And yeah, the ideal situation would be like we've done with the nuts and bolts. We support the middle. But the problem we've got here is there's uneven sized boxes, isn't there? Yeah. And I know there's lots of different ways. I mean, if it was properly jointed and glued and screwed and done like a professional, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe use different wood, you know. Maybe that's why this is doing this. Maybe use a harder wood or whatever. But anyway, that's for the experts. It's just you and me in the shed now, innit? You and me in the shed. We've got to fix this before it gets worse. Yeah. So ideally, you can't fix wood with wood. You've got to introduce steel. So ideally, a shaft here would do on the face. Drill a hole, put a screw in there. Now, it might work if you had the same on the back, but we don't have access to the back. Or if we had a backboard, we could have screwed it in for the back and supported it. I'm not even mad keen on getting we could put an angle iron in there, couldn't we? Yeah. Hold on. We could put a steel in. We could slide that in there, couldn't we, behind it? And we could, obviously not this wide. We'd get a smaller piece, wouldn't we? But there is ways of doing it. We could do that. But remember, we haven't got a back. We've got no access to the back. I mean, short of stripping the whole thing down and pulling it out, putting a backboard on it, or, you know, in an ideal situation, you'd have something like a shaft, a good steel or angle iron here, and then you drill just under the shelf, and you'd send something like an all thread or something under the bottom here, through to the corresponding one of these to a hole the other side. That would stop it. But we don't have access to the back, because them other shelves are back there, by the way. Oh, and I didn't tell you, look. I've shelved in, do you know, in the back there, I had a set of jars, of my favourite jars, with my most used stuff in it. And I've managed to build these shelves in front of them, and then remembered, if I could reach them, I couldn't even pull them out. Anyway, we'll have to approach that another day, another way. So, what are we going to do? And you can jiggle them around, but you still need to come up the middle here somewhere. You see these big boxes. You could come off centre a certain amount. What you'd do, you'd put a leg in there and then swap over and put the leg over here and leg over there. You could probably come that way or even come back to the middle. But this needs to be somehow directly connected to the floor. One shelf sitting on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. That's what would fix it. We are in big bother. See, we're in big bother here. And what'd you do? Get a bigger, thicker shelf and stuff it underneath there? Would that hold it? I don't think so, you know. Constant pressure on wood and wood will move. But we've got to fix this because it's going to get worse. And it's the middle of the winter now. Maybe built it in the dry, warm summer, it might have helped it. I don't know. But that would get away with one. This box is going to be a problem because it's way far from the middle, isn't it? We could put one there. I mean, we could stagger it coming up. That would help it. And of course, you've got to remember, if we're going to do that, these measurements here have to be exact. And we don't really do exact in this house, do we? We do sort of fits where it touches. So it might yet settle again. Unless we do them oversized and hammer them in and try and put the bow back into it, make it go that way. I don't know. Damn. And you can't just put one, because all it'll do is transfer the weight down to there. It would help it, but eventually won't do it any favours. And you'd think jam it across here might do the trick, but no. I think, look, it's already trying to pull itself away. Yeah. Ooh, what are we going to do? See, it would happen less if it had a really strong edge, but that's a plank that can be influenced by weight. These are less influenced by weight because they're bigger and stronger, but nevertheless they do, you know, over time and over different temperatures and, you know, warmer, colder type of thing, moisture in the air. We've got to attempt to do something with this before it just kills the whole thing. So we've got to do there, come up here, find a new place for this box. We'll get away with that. We'll go there. We can do that, possibly. We can, we'll have to find something here, jiggle the boxes about. It means pulling them all out and putting them all back in again and see what fits. But the whole reason of these bigger shelves is because this is a limited size, isn't it? That and that is a limited size. We might have to rethink the whole job and put the bigger boxes in here. Because these are a much stronger altogether shelf, aren't they? Pity though, because I quite like all the little boxes there. It don't matter though. You've got to do what you've got to do. Anyway, we're going to confront that. We're going to get the saw out and start cutting pieces and try and that can do in the middle. This is good enough. That's near enough. That's the only that box there and possibly this box here. That would be all right, you know. One here and one there. We might get away with it. But then, how are we going to see? Look, see the whole thing jiggles and moves. Let's just show you something. Look, see, hear it? Yeah, you see the top even. Can you see it? I can see it and hear it. Look. Yeah. The whole thing's gonna break if we don't fix it today. Yeah, we've got to jack that up, put a spacer in and fix it. Yeah, wow. It's quite a lot, that, isn't it? But you can't just do it onto one shelf, because it'll just transfer onto this one and then onto this one and onto this one. Through the nature of it, wood. Through the nature of wood. For all that weight, it should have been thicker. That's why we've sort of got away. There's a hell of a lot of weight in these. But of course, it's a much thicker wood, isn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of weight in these nuts and bolts. And we haven't really had much trouble, but because, as you can see, we've supported it. We've supported it through the middle, look. So we need to do the same again. Yeah, these have been very good, because the wood was slightly thicker. It might have been a different wood for all I know. Yeah, and look, much stronger support in the corners. Wider and stronger. It was just that weak shelving thing that we did here, didn't we? So these will bend and flex. Would it have made a difference if these were stronger? I don't know. These shelves don't want to let us go. They like being fettled with, don't they? They're not going to let us go. Anyway, let's make a plan.